Have you ever considered that your greatest enemy might not be out in the world, but inside your own mind? The Buddha once shared a startling truth. Your mind is your worst enemy. At first glance, this may sound extreme or even discouraging, but within this statement lies a powerful invitation to self-awareness and transformation. Our minds are not just passive observers of reality. They actively shape our experience. Every emotion, reaction, and judgment is filtered through the lens of thought. And when that lens is clouded with fear, desire, or confusion, suffering inevitably follows. The mind can become a battlefield of past regrets, future worries, and relentless inner dialogue. The Buddha saw clearly that many of us live trapped in our own thoughts, reacting automatically, unconsciously, and often with pain. But he also offered a way out. To begin this path of inner freedom, we must first understand the nature of our mind. Why does it wander? Why does it cling? And most importantly, how can we train it to become our ally instead of our adversary? In this video, we'll explore the Buddha's timeless wisdom on the power of the mind, the dangers of unchecked thought, and the practical steps you can take to break free from the mental patterns that cause suffering. Let's begin this journey inward, where true peace begins. The Buddha taught that the mind is incredibly powerful, both as a source of liberation and as a root of suffering. Every experience you've ever had, joy, sorrow, peace, or stress, has been filtered through your mind. It's not the external world that determines your happiness, but how your mind interprets and reacts to it. This means that a restless, untrained mind can turn even peaceful moments into anxiety, and a calm, focused mind can find stillness even in chaos. Think of the mind like a wild monkey, leaping from one thought to the next, never settling. It clings to past mistakes, obsesses over the future, and resists the present. This restlessness, left unchecked, creates a constant undercurrent of dissatisfaction. The Buddha compared it to a churning ocean, turbulent, unpredictable, and often overwhelming. But why is this restlessness such a problem? Because it pulls us away from the only moment where life truly exists, right now. When our attention is hijacked by regrets or fears, we disconnect from the present, where peace and clarity reside. The Buddha didn't condemn the mind. He understood it. He saw that the same force that creates suffering also holds the key to awakening. The challenge is not to fight the mind, but to understand and train it. And that begins by simply noticing its patterns, with awareness, with compassion, and without judgment. One of the greatest traps the mind sets for us is attachment to people, things, outcomes, and even our own beliefs. The Buddha taught that attachment is the root of all suffering, not because love or joy are wrong, but because we cling to what is impermanent. We believe that happiness lies in getting what we want and keeping it forever. But the truth is, everything in this life is in constant flux. People change, circumstances shift, moments pass. When we base our peace on things that can't last, we are setting ourselves up for heartbreak. You might fall in love, gain success, or experience moments of pure bliss. But if your happiness depends on holding on to them, suffering is inevitable. The mind says, this must stay the same, while reality continues to flow like a river. Craving and grasping are forms of mental bondage. The more we want, the more we fear losing. The more we fear, the more we suffer. The Buddha called this tanha, or thirst, the endless longing that keeps us spinning in cycles of dissatisfaction. Freedom doesn't come from having more. It comes from letting go. This doesn't mean apathy or detachment in a cold sense, but rather a wise and compassionate understanding. That joy is found not in clinging, but in being fully present with life as it is, open-handed, open-hearted, and unattached to the outcome. Another subtle but powerful way the mind becomes our enemy is through the illusion of control. We often believe that if we can control every detail, our thoughts, emotions, environment, and even other people, we will finally find peace. But this belief is not only false, it is the very source of much of our anxiety and suffering. The Buddha taught that the more we resist the natural flow of life, the more we suffer. Life, by its nature, is unpredictable. Things don't always go as planned. People don't behave the way we expect. Our emotions rise and fall like waves. Yet the mind clings to the fantasy that if we could just tighten our grip, we could make everything go our way. But control is a prison. The tighter we hold on, the more we feel life slipping through our fingers. Every unexpected change becomes a threat. Every imperfection becomes unbearable. And in this desperate struggle to control, we disconnect from the present moment, where true peace resides. Surrender is not weakness. In Buddhism, it is a form of wisdom. When we learn to accept what we cannot change, we stop fighting reality and begin to flow with it. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means making space for stillness, clarity, and inner freedom. It means trusting that peace doesn't come from managing every detail, but from meeting life with an open and grounded heart. So, how do we tame the mind and free ourselves from its restless grip? The Buddha offered a powerful solution: mindfulness. Mindfulness is not just a spiritual practice. It is a way of seeing clearly, a way of being fully present with what is happening within and around us, without judgment or resistance. When you become mindful, you step out of the chaos of automatic thoughts. You begin to notice how your mind reacts, how emotions arise, and how suffering is often born, not from what happens, but from how you respond to it. In this awareness, you regain your power. Instead of being a slave to every fear, craving, or passing thought, you become the observer. And in that space between stimulus and response, freedom is born. Meditation is the training ground for mindfulness. By sitting in stillness, even just a few minutes a day, you begin to witness the mind's chatter and soften its grip. Over time, the mental noise quiets, and you start to touch something deeper, a peaceful awareness that's always been there, underneath the surface. But mindfulness isn't confined to the cushion. It's a living practice. You can bring it into every part of your day: eating, walking, speaking, or even washing dishes. The more present you become, the more you begin to experience life as it truly is. Not through the filter of fear or desire, but through the lens of clarity, compassion, and calm. While mindfulness helps us awaken to the present, the Buddha gave us a complete roadmap to liberation, the Noble Eightfold Path. This isn't just a philosophy, it's a practical guide to transforming the mind, purifying our actions, and freeing ourselves from suffering. Each step works in harmony to cultivate wisdom, ethical living, and mental discipline. The path begins with right view, understanding the truth of suffering, impermanence, and non-self. It means seeing clearly how craving and attachment trap us in cycles of dissatisfaction. Right intention follows, where we commit to letting go of harmful desires and cultivating kindness and renunciation. The next steps, right speech, right action, and right livelihood, help us live ethically. We speak truthfully, act with compassion, and earn a living in a way that does not cause harm. These steps create the moral foundation for inner peace to flourish. Then comes right effort, the determination to abandon unwholesome mental states and develop positive ones. With right mindfulness, we cultivate awareness in every moment, becoming conscious of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Finally, Right concentration is the deep meditative focus that brings serenity and insight. Together, these 8 steps don't remove us from life. They transform our relationship with it. They turn the mind from a wild enemy into a wise companion. The path doesn't demand perfection, only sincerity and consistency. With each mindful step, we walk closer to peace, clarity, and the freedom that comes from within. In the end, the Buddhist teaching that your mind is your worst enemy isn't meant to scare or discourage. It's a profound call to awareness. It reminds us that the greatest battle we face is not with the outside world, but with the chaos inside our own minds. When left unchecked, our thoughts can pull us into fear, regret, craving, and endless distraction. But when brought into awareness, the mind can become our greatest ally, a guide toward wisdom, compassion, and inner peace. You don't need to escape the world or become someone else to find liberation. You simply need to turn inward, observe the nature of your thoughts, and choose not to be ruled by them. The storm of your mind can settle. The constant noise can grow quiet. And in that stillness, you will discover a deeper truth, that peace was never outside of you. It was always within. Through mindfulness, meditation, and walking the noble eightfold path, you reclaim your inner freedom step by step. Every moment you return to the present is a moment of awakening. Every time you choose compassion over reaction, silence over mental noise, clarity over confusion, you are transforming your life. So be gentle with your mind, train it patiently, and remember, the path to enlightenment isn't about perfection, but presence. When your mind becomes your ally, even suffering becomes a doorway to wisdom. We can start to see the world and ourselves with greater clarity, compassion, and peace. The mind may be our worst enemy, but with practice it can also become our greatest ally on the path to enlightenment. If you found this video helpful and would like to learn more about Buddhist wisdom and mindfulness practices, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos that can help you transform your mind and live a more peaceful life. Thank you for watching, and may peace and wisdom guide you on your journey.